of those mornings. I slept like a rock, yet I still got up feeling kind of tired. I don't know. It is Wednesday though, and I won't be working Saturdays anymore. And I know there's a bunch of people here who don't like that. But it's like, folks, there's a reason why I opt out of working Saturday. It's not, well, I am a weak-willed, lazy bastard, but at the same time, it's ridiculous. It's enough that you work us, how many days a week, and now you've got to tack on another day to make up for their shortcoming. Well, like I said, there's plenty of people who want to volunteer to do it. Let them do it. Me, I'm sorry. I'm getting to the point now where I do these 6 days in a row and I sleep through Sunday. I wake up feeling terrible, achy, between our Uncle Arthur coming to visit and a bunch of other stuff. No, I'm not doing it anymore. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Dr. Freda, who cares? You're bald, middle-aged, butt-hedgy Arthur. But at the same time, I'm thankful I don't have a lot more serious things to worry about. Yeah, Joe Martin was very. Yeah, I met her over at Chicago Tartar. She's coming back this year. And like I said, she was very kind, very nice. Um, but speaking of the Doctor Institution, the reason why I left Doctor News on here, apparently I haven't had a chance to read the article yet, but Moffat said it is the nation's, it's the BBC's duty to produce Doctor Who. Okay, I'm going to probably mix some shows up because I don't really watch them. Does that mean it's the BBC's duty to pump out, did the BBC do Corey and EastEnders, or is that ITV? I don't know, but still, it's no television stations, whether they're paid or not's duty to put out. Oh, Jodie's very kind. Like I said, I was tongue-tied. Because, like I said, this is one of the actresses I floor, in my brain, like, I'm never going to get to meet that person. And there she was, and I just didn't know how to react. She said I looked amazing, and I was wearing a shirt with her on it. So I said, only that's because you look amazing. Like, oh. Okay, it's ITV do Corey. All right, I couldn't remember which one. But, I don't really keep up on that. It's not a memory thing. I just don't give a shit about EastEnders or Corey. It's not my bag. But that's like saying it's ITV's duties to pump out the one. That's like saying it was Paramount's duty to pump out Star Trek. They aren't doing it because it's a duty. They're doing it because it makes money. All right? That's why they're doing it. And like I said, sadly, broadcast TV is pretty much on its way out. Matter of fact, I would not be the least bit surprised by the time I shuffle off my mortal coil, every terrestrial broadcast television station is gone. You'll have absolutely no digital production or nothing like that. That'll all be gone. Everything will be cable or internet. Because that's the way it goes. Broadcast TV is a dinosaur slowly on its way to the tar pit. All right, that's why I die laughing when people are using overnight viewing figures to the BBC to rate shows. Guys, overnights don't mean jack shit anymore. Look at, like I said, I keep bringing up Fallout, the TV series, because it was freaking amazing. And it had over like 100 million plus views on Amazon Prime. That's why boom. It's already been renewed for a second and a third season. Oh, that's right. Wednesday part 2 starts. That's right. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me, because I would never have remembered it otherwise. What's Trump announcing? Like I said, I do not pay attention to politics. There's no point. It's all out of your hands. It's all being handled by people who are so far in another planet that they might as well be broadcasting you from, like, Mars. I'm not kidding. It's just weird how the class system has become so, blatantly obvious in this day and age. It does, like, they're going to do what they're going to do. There's not really, well, you could vote him out. Yeah, right. Sadly, we don't get the no confidence vote or anything like that. If, like I said, I don't even pay attention to who's president anymore. It's a middleman. It's a publicity guy. He's basically there to say, okay, we're doing this, and then they either get the blame for it or they take all the bullets. Well, they're the ones who have to dodge the bullet, so to speak. Exactly. It's an illusion of choice. George Carlin nailed it. I keep telling people, if you want to see what the world's truly like, you want to go listen to George Carlin. He was years ahead of his time on a lot of this stuff. All politicians are there for, as he said, is to give you the illusion that you have freedom of choice. You don't. Okay, That's what I mean. It's all garbage. But okay, so now Moffat's saying, yeah, it's their duty to produce Doctor Who. No, it's not. I have no idea what he was smoking that night. If it was weed, it was laced with something. I don't know, maybe it took too many hits of peyote or whatever, ayahuasca, whatever they're serving now these days is the new medicinal drink up there. I don't know, but that's not how it works. That's not their duty to make anything. The BBC chugged along fine without Doctor Who for how many years, and we're probably going to end up doing it for a little while now. Yeah, I already mentioned, I could have sworn I mentioned that Christopher H. Bidme died, because that was one of the first novelizations I ever read. We were on a trip, and I bought a bunch of books at Bookseller, and one of them was the novelization of Five Doctors, Castrovalva, and that's how I read Castrovalva long before I actually saw it. And he did a pretty good job, because I remember enjoying the book thoroughly. See, what else is going on in the way? Somebody posted that they would give a prize to someone if they would eliminate Georgia Tennant. They posted this on Facebook. And I'm like, what the hell has Georgia Tennant done to anybody? Well, Moffat's not coming back. I don't think he's going to be stupid enough to come back. The guy is far more intelligent. Give him credit. I don't think he would come back to that show even if they did pay him $1 billion. Look at what he went through towards the during his reign towards the end because of this, that, these, and those. Literally, threats of physical violence. Like I said, like George, that's what made me segue into Georgia Tennant. Why would anybody want to harm Georgia Tennant? I can't figure this out for the life of me. What has she done that was so evil? And even if she did something, who has the right to do something like that? That's just ridiculous. It is. It's disgusting. You're right. It is. It's thoroughly disgusting. What has she done other than fire out David Tennant's babies like a machine gun? And even if Georgia Tennant was no longer here, and I do not wish that at all, because from everything I've seen, she's kind, she's witty, she's always been friendly to the fans. Let's say this person is like some crazed female stalker type. I'm going to ask you the same question I did to a bunch of guys who threw a fit when they found out Elvira, Cassandra Peterson, announced she was a lesbian. Like you had a shot. Or would ever have a shot, okay? No. At David Tennant or Cassandra Peterson. No. Even if she was straight as an arrow, Cassandra Peterson, you're not getting in there. No, it's not happening. And yeah, I can't believe somebody did that. That was just so tasteless, it was beyond comprehension. Come on, this is a wife and a mother and who's done nothing to no one. Yeah, I met Peter Davison, very kind, very thoughtful fellow. Like I said, I really wish people hadn't dumped on him for something he said years ago. That was just uncalled for. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, whether you like it or not. What language is this guy speaking? Yeah, I don't think Georgia has, but you got to remember, David just looks at that poor girl and she gets pregnant. Hell, David, if David ever looked at me, I might get pregnant. Sheesh. Like, ugh. But she's never been, anything but kind to everybody online and stuff, so I can't figure that out. All right, so like I said, just disgusted the shit out of me that somebody threatened Georgia Tennant's life for absolutely no reason, and even if there was a reason, no. Ugh. So I mean, it's just the man has such charisma, such magnetism, it's frightening. If I ever met him at a convention, oh god, what? I'm not straight anymore. How did that happen? I don't know. Yeah, I just wish Eccleston was going to be there all 3 days at Chicago TARDIS this year, but because, like I said, he's Saturday only, and the problem is Saturdays we're focused on finishing shit up and getting the hell out of there. It's a long drive home. I'm nervous as hell about going anywhere near Chicago anymore, let alone being near it. It's like, ooh. Like I said, I would love to meet Eccleston in person, but maybe if he does a panel on Saturday or something, I'll go sit in depending on what time it is, because these days we like to be out of Chicago by noon, maybe 1 or 2 o'clock at the latest, because driving at night on the interstate, especially a long drive, because by the time we start getting back, because of the time of year it is, it's a pain in the ass, okay? I'm not a great night driver. My wife doesn't like driving at night. Lady G hates driving at night. So that's why we try to be out of there, because also you're crossing time zones on the way back. So we are time traveling on the way there and back. Kind of weird, huh? Sometimes Lady G does. Sometimes I do. Last time she drove, same here. I keep saying that every day. Sadly, I'll never meet Tom Baker. And I would love to meet him just once, in person. And Tom's not looking all that great these days. He's lost a lot of weight suddenly. He looks like a scarecrow. I'm like, ugh. And Tom can't travel. I really don't want to have to travel, because in order for me to travel, oh God, I don't even have a passport at this stage, okay? And I have to carry a CPAP machine with me to sleep, which means now I'm going to get in a fight with a TSA because they're going to think it's going to blow up or something. And well, I've met a lot of the surviving doctors, and they're all very kind. They're all very nice, and so I can't complain. I haven't met Tennant. I haven't met Matt Smith. Sadly, I've never met Peter Capaldi. I would love to meet him just once. But, he's mainly focused on his music these days, and he seems to be having a great time, so I can't complain, just the photos and videos of him that he's putting up on stage, he's having the time of his life up there. Well, I'm still regretting the fact I never got to meet Liz Sladen. I literally had a tear in my eye the night that I found out she had passed, and I was stuck on a job for 10 hours that night. And people are wondering why I'm so sad. I can't break it to them that somebody I'd never met who had been part of my life for how many decades had passed away, and it felt like a distant relative or a friend had died. Oh, well, I just looked at the time. I've got to get inside. Okay, folks, for one, it's not the BBC's duty to make anything in particular. Sadly, that is a fallacy, that is a myth. Number two, don't threaten Georgia Tenet. She's not done anything to anybody that deserves that kind of threat, and nobody really does. And three, be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and hopefully we will see you all again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.